Now that I've chosen my favorite products, I want to do some more research to see what types of improvements I can make on these particular products. You know, if you make improvements to your products and they work well, then your products are going to get better reviews on Amazon. As a result, they're going to sell better. And it's just much easier to compete with the competition, okay? So finding some ways to improve upon the products is quite important to me, and I try to do it whenever possible. So to do so, it's really quite easy, and it's really cool to think about because, like, you know, just like a decade ago, these companies would probably spend tens of thousands or maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars, like create these focus groups to find out how they can improve upon their products. Now we can just go to Amazon and read the reviews. So I've just searched for tri-fold poster board. I'm gonna click on specifically the ones that are getting poor reviews and literally just read the reviews to see what people don't like about these. So, you know, looks like the size of the panels are all a little bit different, so kind of poor quality control. This one had a red sticker on it that they couldn't get off. Let's see, the board was ripped, board arrived damaged. You can see the ridges on the cardboard, arrived damaged, damaged, punch wounds, came broken, damaged with the big hole. So it looks like the big things here is like make sure there's no stickers on our product, make sure it's good quality control so the panels are like essentially are the correct size. And I guess this one, try to make sure you can't see the ridges that are in the cardboard. It looks like that's an important one. And other than that, it's kind of about shipping it well. So the way that I like, when I'm reading about this stuff, the way that I like to store my notes about what I want to improve upon it is I just go into my product tracker, and whichever one I was just reading or just at the top, so let's see, which one was that one? Darius. Looks like maybe that one wasn't in there, but that's all right. I'm just gonna go right here at this top one, and I'm just gonna go to view notes, and I'm going to just create a note. So I'm just gonna say things to improve upon. All right, so no stickers on the product. I'm also going to say make sure you can't see the ridges through the cardboard. I'm also going to say package and ship it well, exclamation. And let's see, I think there was one other thing in there. Oh, I'm just going to say good dimension quality control, QC. All right, so I can save this note. And this is just like an easy way to organize your thoughts, because otherwise I found that I had these like different, just kind of like notes all over the place on different documents. And now this is just like a nice way to keep it right inside of, yeah, just a way that's really easy to organize it. So let's just quickly read some of the other reviews. Let's see, who else is getting bad reviews? A bunch of them. Let's see this Elmer's one. Oh yeah, I read these. They're essentially just shipping this tiny little display board, it's only like 12 inches tall. And everyone thinks it's a full size one. Where else? Here's another Elmer's one. Let's see what they're getting bad reviews for. Claimed it was a 12-pack. They only got one. That would make people upset. What else we have here? Two-thirds of the size of the boards they typically see. Make sure there's a size you need. All right, so something I just thought of that's really important here. So now I've seen quite a few different improvements. I've seen quite a few bad reviews associated with the product not being the size that the customer expected, okay? So a really good way to make sure this doesn't happen is to take photos of your product next to items that are easy for people, or that's just like the size or scale of them is very easy for people to understand. So I'm just gonna make a note of that. Like pictures next to scale that customers can understand. And this is important because this is why a lot of people are getting bad reviews. So let me just show you an example of this. If we look at these jungle sticks, and I go in here, so these things are 36 inches long, and this is just, some people were commenting on this like, wow, I can't believe how long they are. So, you know, something that we did here was, for one, showed the stick, this kid holding it. Now, it's still a little bit hard to see with this kid holding it, I think. You're not quite sure how big he is, and it's also just a pretty skinny stick. But I think a picture like this shows pretty well the actual kind of size of the product. Because one thing that we've definitely learned is customers don't read the dimensions, okay? So, you know, instead show the product next to something that they easily understand how big it is, all right? So yeah, that's a just kind of a good little trick to make sure that your customers are happy and you're not getting bad reviews as a result. So it doesn't look like any of these things are very hard to improve upon, but let's go ahead and just read one more just to make sure we're doing some thorough research here about what it would take. Let's see. We can also read the good reviews, what people like. Like I think, you know, it looks like this one was getting pretty good reviews. Let's take a look at these real quick. Okay, so they're, you know, they specifically call out there's no lines across the board. I like that a lot. Nice. Looks like it's much thicker than the competitors. Some nice lifestyle imagery there. I like that. Let's see what people say about it. What was his bad review saying? 2 pieces glued together, so they don't love the quality. They think it's overpriced. Worked well for their purpose. Looks like a lot of people are saying that it is high quality, superior quality. Heavy duty, sturdy. So it's like, you know, like people are buying this one because it's high quality. And I think with our product, we can do the same. So yeah. All right, so let's, I'm feeling pretty good right now about this trifold poster board. Let's go ahead and just do this research also for the exam table paper. So I can just show you another example of how I think about making improvements here, okay? Now, one thing you'll note when I'm talking about this is I'm not inventing a new product, right? I'm seeing what things that customers are upset with about this product, and then I'd be working with the factory about how I can go about making those improvements. So I'm not inventing a new kind of trifold poster board, but instead I'm working with the factory and saying like, hey, it's important that the lines don't show through the paper. Can we use thicker paper on the outside? Or hey, how can we package this product to make sure it doesn't get damaged when it's being shipped? Or just like different things like that, to be working with the factory, not like inventing a brand new product, but literally just having a dialogue with the customer support rep that I'm working with, or the sales rep that I'm working with at the factory, to figure out what I can, or what we can do to make improvements to these different areas that the other customers on Amazon are saying that they don't like, okay? So now let's take a look at the yard sign stakes. Looks like there's different ones that, you know, some get better reviews than others. We can just click through a few of these and read the ratings. Something else that I have to think about or decide on is whether or not I want to do just the stakes themselves or also the poster board or whatever you want to call it that goes on top of them. The welds are cheap. The middle support breaks, weld on the frame breaks. All right, so those are good things to take notes of. I'm just gonna go ahead and start taking some notes. Heavy duty welds on the support section. Let's see what else people are saying about these. I'll just read another one for the purpose of this example. Let's see what people don't like about these. Crap. Not long enough. Ordered 3, only received 2. Actually, not many bad reviews though. Brightness of the poster board. The yellow's dull. Still look good. So there's actually not many bad things that people are saying about these. Let's go ahead and just try to do one more. Let's see if we can get any other ideas of what's important to people. Let's see here. These have some few bad reviews. All right, so they arrived dirty, arrived damaged. Boards are damaged and the stakes bent. Looks like about it. So I'd say the important things here are also just heavy duty or thick stakes. I imagine since a lot of them are breaking, I imagine people are breaking them when they're stepping on them and put them in the ground. So something else we could probably do to make an improvement here would be to use like little angled cuts on the bottom, so it's a little bit like sharper when you're pressing it on the ground. Like angle cuts on the bottom to make them sharper. And then I'd also say it's just important that we have good packaging, like good box design and packaging to prevent from damage. I was thinking this morning a little bit more about this product, and one of the other things I think we could do is we could potentially change the sizing of it so that it's not oversized. So I was actually looking at the Chrome extension, and let me show you the difference of the fees for the listings that are oversized versus standard size. All right, so right here in this tier, it tells me whether it's oversized or it's standard size. And if you ever want to see the size tiers, you can just Google Amazon product size tiers. These are them. So in order to be standard size, maximum's 18 inches, then 14 inches by 8 inches. And what I noticed were some of these were fairly close to that. So this one's a little bit taller at 30 inches, but some of these other ones, 24, 18, 23, this one's 17. Oh yeah, because this one's standard size. So let's look at this. So I mean, there are some of these signs that are standard size, right? So I was thinking, and then look at the difference of the fees. So if we made it standard size, it'd probably end up being, let's do one of these large. Oh yeah, it'd actually probably be really close to this because this is just under the maximum for standard size. And when I look at this one, the fees are $8 versus some of these other ones, the fees are quite a bit more. Let me see. Let me find this priced around $20. All right. So this was a Halloween one, but I think this one's a good example. So this is $20 price point. This one is oversized, not by that much, but the fees are $11.50, right? So the net's only $8.48. If we, if we source this thing for, let's say, $4 or $5, that would leave us with $3.48, not a ton, right? Now, in comparison, what's the top selling standard size one? It would probably be something around this size. Let's go ahead and change the product price. So let's say it was still $19.99 or even like $18.99. I could probably afford to go a little bit cheaper. And let's say same thing, product cost. I'm guessing these are gonna be around like $3 or $4. Let's calculate the profit of that. So as you can see, it's a big difference, right? The ROI is 200% instead of like less than 100%, right? So if I can land a product for $4 and make $8 profit, that would actually be really good. So what I was thinking was that we would essentially get these created to be the maximum size. And let me show you what I'm talking about. I drew a quick little sketch here of what I was thinking. You know, the maximum size according to Amazon is 18 by 14 and then 8 inches thick, which if we're selling these in like a 3-pack, that's plenty thick. The board that it goes on, so let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let's see, this one's the top seller. So, you know, this like white board right here, that's the poster. It would be 17.5 by 13.5. So it's a little bit smaller than the 18 by 14. Okay, so just a hair smaller. And then this could be, again, 17.5 inches long by, let's say, like 12 inches. Now, this would be a little bit smaller than the ones that are currently for sale on Amazon. However, I think I could sell it at probably a little bit cheaper price point and really my profitability would be way better. I think as long as people understood the size that they were getting, I think this is actually still a fine size to sell. I think you could still get plenty of people's attention when they're driving by or however else people are using this in order to, like with this particular size. And the profitability of it would just be way, way better. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. But we'll have to do a little bit more digging around and see if that works out. But let me actually go ahead and just make a note of that in my product tracker. I'm gonna do a different note. For this one, I'm just gonna say change product size to reduce fees. And then, actually, this is what I'll do. I can upload this screenshot. And I can actually paste it directly in here. And then I am all set. So that's how I go about doing my research to determine what, if any, changes I want to make to a particular product. So I go to Amazon, I read through the reviews, I find what people are complaining about. I also just do a little bit of brainstorming myself to see if there's anything that I think are additional improvements that we can make to these particular products, or if there's anything else I think we can do to maximize profitability or better communicate to the customer what they're getting. So these are all the things that I'm thinking about and I'm writing down in my product tracker, and that's really all there is to it.